In the small village of Ashura, nestled in the heart of the African savanna, life was simple and predictable. The villagers lived off the land, farming and hunting to survive. Kabisi, a young boy with a wild heart and a curious mind, lived in Ashura with his parents and younger sister. Kabisi's life was ordinary until the day he met Nola. Nola was a beautiful and kind-hearted girl who had just moved to Ashura with her family. Kabisi and Nola quickly became inseparable, exploring the savannah and sharing secrets. Until one day, the royal family of Ashura, the ruling clan of the village, announced that they needed a sacrifice to the gods to bring rain to the dry land. The royal family, led by the ruthless King Mampa, decreed that Nola would be the sacrifice. Kabisi was devastated. He knew that he had to do something to save Nola, but he was just a boy, and the royal family was powerful. In a shocking turn of events, King Mampa announced that Nola would be married to his son, Prince Tefatwa, as a way to honor her before she was sacrificed to the gods. Kabisi was heartbroken as he watched Nola being dragged away to the palace to prepare for the wedding. The wedding ceremony was a grand affair, with the entire village in attendance. Kabisi watched in horror as Nola was forced to marry Prince Tefatwa, her eyes filled with tears and desperation. The day of the sacrifice arrived, and Kabisi knew he had to act. He snuck into the palace, determined to rescue Nola. But it was too late. The royal family had already taken Nola to the sacred grove, where she was to be sacrificed to the gods. Kabisi watched in horror as Nola was killed, her body offered to the gods as a sacrifice. He felt a rage build up inside him, a rage that would consume him for the rest of his life. Kabisi's life was forever changed that day. He became consumed by a desire for revenge against the royal family. He spent every waking moment thinking of ways to destroy them, to make them pay for what they had done to Nola. As Kabisi's desire for revenge grew, he began to change. He became darker, more sinister. He started to see the world in a different way, as a place where might made right, and where the strong survived and the weak perished. Years passed, and Kabisi's transformation was complete. He had become a ruthless and cunning villain, determined to destroy the royal family and everyone else who had wronged him. Kabisi's first target was Prince Tefatwa, the man who had married Nola against her will. Kabisi tracked the prince down to a remote village, where he was hiding in fear of his life. Kabisi killed the prince, and then he set his sights on the rest of the royal family. Kabisi's revenge was brutal and merciless. He killed King Mampa and his entire family, one by one. He destroyed the palace, burning it to the ground. And he took over the village, ruling with an iron fist. The villagers lived in fear of Kabisi, the villain who had once been a hero. They whispered stories of his brutality, of his merciless killings. And they trembled with fear, knowing that they were living under the rule of a monster. Years passed, and Kabisi's legend grew. He became known as the greatest villain in African history, a man who had brought down a royal family and taken over a village. But Kabisi's legacy was not just one of blood and violence. It was also a legacy of love and loss, of a man who had been driven to madness and destruction by the death of the woman he loved. And so, the story of Kabisi serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of revenge. It is a story that will be told and retold for generations to come, a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting our emotions consume us.